In the bustling heart of Detroit, where the rust of old factories whispered tales of forgotten dreams, lived a young man named Marcus Reed. He was 22, with calloused hands from flipping burgers at a greasy diner and eyes that held the weight of a world that had never given him a fair shot. Marcus grew up in a cramped apartment with his single mom, who worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. School was a battlefield. Bullies mocked his second-hand clothes, teachers overlooked his quiet potential, and college? That was a fairy tale for kids with trust funds. By day, he dreamed of escaping the cycle, but by night, doubt crept in like shadows, whispering, "You're not smart enough, not strong enough. You'll end up just like everyone else here stuck." One rainy afternoon, while mopping the diner floor after a grueling shift, Marcus overheard a conversation that would ignite a spark. An old customer, Mr. Harlan, a retired auto worker with a voice like gravel, was chatting with the owner. "Life ain't about the cards you're dealt, son," Harlan said, noticing Marcus eavesdropping. "It's about how you play him. I built my first car from scrap in '68 when folks said it was impossible. But I didn't listen to the noise. I listened to the fire inside." Harlan slipped Marcus a crumpled business card for a local Inventor's meet. "Come if you dare. Might just find your fire." Curiosity gnawed at Marcus. That night, staring at the ceiling as rain pattered against the window, he thought about his own fire. He'd always tinkered with gadgets in his tiny room, fixing broken radios, rigging old bikes into electric scooters. But fear held him back. What if he failed? What if people laughed? The card burned in his pocket like a challenge. The next evening, heart pounding, he stepped into the dimly lit community center. The room buzzed with dreamers, engineers, artists, hobbyists sharing wild ideas. Marcus felt like an imposter, but Harlan spotted him and waved him over. "Tell us what you've got, kid." Swallowing hard, Marcus pulled out a sketch from his backpack, a simple device to convert restaurant grease into biofuel for cars. Laughter rippled through the group at first. "Kid, that's sci-fi stuff," one man scoffed, but Harlan quieted them. "Let him speak." Marcus explained how he tested it in secret, using diner waste to power his mom's old clunker for a week. Eyes widened. A woman in the back, Elena, a tech startup scout, leaned in. "That's not just an idea, that's a solution to urban waste." By the end of the night, Elena offered him a spot in her incubator program. But doubt whispered again, "You're not ready, you'll flop." Marcus almost backed out. The program meant quitting his job, long hours, no pay. His mom worried, "We need the money, baby." But something shifted that night as he walked home under streetlights. He remembered his dad as old letters gone too soon from a factory accident, urging him to chase the impossible. The next day, he leaped. The incubator was brutal. Failed prototypes exploded. Investors rejected him. Nights blurred into days. One prototype caught fire, singeing his arm and scorching his confidence. "I'm done," he told Elena, tears stinging. "I'm just a diner kid pretending." Elena pulled him aside. "Every great inventor failed 1,000 times. Edison, Ford, they all did. But they didn't stop because they knew failure isn't the end. It's the teacher." She shared her own story. Immigrating from Mexico with nothing, building her company from a garage. "Your cracks are what make you unique. That grease idea? It's genius because you lived the problem." Inspired, Marcus doubled down. He tweaked the design, adding a filter from recycled parts. Suspense built as the big demo day approached. A pitch to venture capitalists in a sleek downtown hall. What if it bombed? What if he choked? The morning of the pitch, nerves twisted his gut like a vice. The room was packed with suits, flashing cameras. His turn came. Hands shaking, he unveiled his prototype, a compact converter that turned waste oil into clean fuel right before their eyes. The machine hummed to life, powering a model car across the stage. Gasps echoed. But then disaster. A leak sprayed oil, staining an investor's suit. Laughter erupted. Marcus froze, heart sinking. "I'm sorry," he stammered, ready to flee. But the investor wiped it off with a grin. "Son, that's not a flaw, that's proof it's real. How much to fund this?" The room erupted in applause. Offers poured in. Marcus's invention, dubbed EcoSpark, exploded. Within months, it was in diners across Detroit, turning waste into fuel, cutting emissions, creating jobs. News outlets called him the grease genius. Viral videos of his journey racked up millions of views. Underdog kid turns trash to treasure. He bought his mom a house, started a scholarship for inner-city tinkerers. Years later, at a TED Talk, Marcus stood before thousands. "I was broke, scared, invisible. But I learned, the greatest battles are the ones we fight within. Doubt will scream, failure will sting, but your fire, it's unbreakable if you feed it. Don't wait for permission. Chase your impossible. Because in every no, there's a lesson. In every fall, a rise. And in you right now is the power to change everything." As the crowd rose in thunderous applause, Marcus smiled, remembering that rainy diner day. Life wasn't perfect, but it was his, and that made all the difference. So, what's your fire? What's holding you back? The world waits for your spark. Ignite it.